Hello everyone, welcome back to Realtique channel today. And today I'm going to answer the 10 most asked questions when the foreigners they invest in a property in Vietnam. And you should know all of this before you start investing in a property in Vietnam. They are very crucial, fundamental and must know. Alright, so let's go to the first one. The first one is, can foreigners own property in Vietnam? Well, of course, foreigners can own property in Vietnam. Actually, Vietnam just opened for foreigners buy the property since 2017. And foreigners can only buy 30% of the condominium within one project. For example, the project has 100 units and the foreigners can buy 30 apartments in this project. If they want to buy the villas or the townhouses, they can also buy, but they can only access the 10% of the townhouses or villas within one project. So they cannot go outside and buy the individual houses and townhouses outside of the project. And they cannot own the land. They can only lease it for the maximum of 50 years, which we usually see they are doing in the industrial zone. So that answers the second question. What types of property can foreigners buy? Again, foreigners can buy 30% of the apartments within one project. Villas and townhouses will be 10%. And if they lease, it's going to be maximum 50 years. The third question is, what are the legal requirements for foreign property ownership? Foreigners need to have a valid passport and either a tourist or business visa. Well, another questions people usually ask regarding to the legal requirements is like the foreigners when they sign the sales and purchase agreement, when they buy the property, that they need to have not only the valid passport but also the entry stamp to prove that they already enter Vietnam soil and that themselves sign the SPA, sales and purchase agreement. The fourth questions, how does the buying process work? Well, the buying process usually involves selecting a property, paying a deposit. Usually when you pay the deposit, it's non-refundable in all circumstances. So make sure you really consider carefully before you transfer the deposit, because once you transfer it and you want to change your mind, it's late. The next step will be signing a sales and purchase agreement, usually called SPA, and then making the final payment or following the payment schedule of the developer. So usually when the foreigners they buy the condominium, those will be the apartments completed in the future, and they will come up with an off-plan payment schedule that you can follow with around 1 year, 2 years, or sometimes 3 years. Are there any taxes involved? Yes, there are several taxes. When you buy, there will be the value added tax, VAT, 10%. This tax is already included in the price. A maintenance fee, 2%, which is for maintaining the property after the handover, and a registration fee for the property ownership certification. This fee is a small fee when the ownership certification is issued. Usually this is called the pink book. That's when you buy. And when you sell, there will be 2% on the transfer tax. The sixth question is, can foreigners get a mortgage in Vietnam? Well, the answer is no. So just say buying property in Vietnam usually will not coming up with any financial option. You have to prepare all the money to buy the property, or you can choose the off-plan payment that come up with the payment schedule. They can spread the payment time and the cash flow for you to easily buy the property. The seventh question is, what is the average return on investment for property investment in Vietnam? Well, for the property there will be two yields. The first one will be the rental yield. In Ho Chi Minh City, we can reach something around 3 to 4%. In Hanoi, it's going to be around 4 to 6%, depending on whether the property is in the center or far away from the center. And about the capital gain, it generally ranges from 6 to 10%. So if we are talking about a double yield, we are talking about something from 10 to 16%. The 8 questions: can foreigners rent out their property? Yes, foreigners can rent out their property, of course. And there will be the tax if they declare the tax, which will be 5% for the VAT on a rental, and another 5% will be for the personal income tax. So the total will be 10%. The 9 questions: what happens to the property after the leasehold period expires? Well, this question comes because some of the property is not under the sales and purchase agreement, but they are the leasehold. And so when the leasehold period expires, the property can either be sold back to the government or the lease can be extended, depending on the regulations at that time. And the last questions today will be: how can I ensure my investment is safe? Always conduct thorough due diligence. Consult with and work with reputable real estate agencies like Realtique to ensure a safe and profitable investment. So that's all for today. Those are the 10 questions usually asked by foreigners when they invest in Vietnam. And if you have any other questions that coming up that I haven't answered in this clip, please just feel free to comment below, and I'm sure I can just drop down the reply to answer you, or I can make another clip with all of those questions to answer. Don't forget to like, share or subscribe to our channel for the next exclusive content. Thank you. See you next time.